At 7 years old, like Spawn came out. That was my favorite movie ever. James was absolutely wrong thinking that was his favorite movie ever. But one thing I was absolutely right about, deciding not to see Home Alone 3.
Drive-by movies here. You're watching Direct to Dumpster. My name's Blaze.
And I'm James.
This week, we're talking Home Alone 3.
Heads up. Ouch.
Home Alone 3.
Directed by Raja Gosnell and starring nobody that you know.
Well, I mean, Black Widow's in this again.
Oh, yeah. Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Is this her first movie?
I mean, she would not have a career if it wasn't for this movie.
Let's be honest.
Either way, if it's not her first movie on her resume, it's the movie that made the career.
Do you think she has a resume still? Like, she just signing up for that new Black Widow movie, and she's like, here's my resume.
Yeah, Home
and then
Alone 3.
they scroll all the way to the bottom and like, Home Alone 3. Oh, I like that.
Enough said, yeah.
you have the job, even
Yeah.
though you were in all the previous films.
Right. Home Alone meant a lot to me as a kid. I wanted to be Macaulay Culkin. I was like, I want to get recognized for like taking down robbers and stuff. I want that kind of attention. Yeah.
That's it.
Home Alone 3 came out.
Well,
yeah.
Home Alone meant nothing to me.
Yeah.
I'll just say that off the bat. I'll just
How dare you?
play devil's advocate. Actually, yeah, I never watched Home Alone as a kid, and I've made it all the way till this day. I still haven't watched it. Home Alone Lost in New York. No, I have not seen them, but I have seen Home Alone 3 now.
Just as of today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I remember, throwback to our sequel episode of Small Soldiers, still really proud of that. We need to see that as a movie. But I remember you saying that you weren't really allowed to watch movies with shithead kids. And Macaulay Culkin's Kevin McAllister is like the pivotal character of shithead kids.
Kind of a smartass, right?
Yeah.
So, I never watched it for that reasoning, but I knew of Home Alone, as a cultural phenomenon as a child. And when I saw the trailers for this, because I was a kid that grew up without cable, so we basically only watched like PBS, like Arthur, which I didn't even like, or what was it, that show? No, that was Nickelodeon was Out of the Box. It's called Zoom. It's just some weird, stupid show. I think they just kept zooming in the camera and be like, zoom. I think that was the whole show, to be honest. But yeah, basically, so when we got cable, I would watch all the Rugrats episodes and basically just binge watch those, find out about all the holidays like Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And then essentially I'd see these Home Alone 3 commercials and I'd be like, I've never even watched Home Alone, but I know that that's not the right kid.
Right.
Whenever I saw this new kid, I'm like, that's not the right kid. This movie's not going to be good.
Right. And
I was right.
Absolutely. I'm actually every once in a while I think what were you thinking, James, not liking a movie and stuff? But at 7 years old, Spawn came out. That was my favorite movie ever. James was absolutely wrong thinking that was his favorite movie ever. But one thing I was absolutely right about, deciding not to see Home Alone 3 in theaters. I mean, my parents wanted to take me to go see it. I was 7 years old. Let's go see Home Alone 3, James. You'll like it. It's a sequel to your favorite movies. And I was like, no, I'm not falling for this stuff right here.
Yeah.
I did rent it eventually and still hated it. And I thought, let's give it a try. It's still written by John Hughes. Rest in peace. But I mean, were we even watching Home Alone 3 right when the movie starts? It's like, what is this? The intro to Rush Hour?
This is a weird movie, and that that they definitely went the budget route because they don't bring anyone back. Scarlett Johansson at this time isn't worth she's probably worth scale, maybe even less. I don't even know if she got paid.
Yeah.
But they try and go that budget route. It just fails on all cylinders. They up all the antics from the first Home Alone.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's really just no story. It's just a rehash of the first Home Alone with no charm because you've already seen the movie before.
Everything's just louder and more obnoxious, I feel like, too. Yeah, they're like, oh, 2 bad guys? You thought that was crazy? Oh, now we got 3 bad guys.
Yeah.
No, 4 bad guys, actually.
I think they open up. The funny thing was you mentioned how they open up with electricity.
Yeah.
Isn't that a showstopper when Marv gets electrocuted in the first Home Alone? You see his skeleton. They open it up with this one.
That's the second one, but
sorry.
yeah, that's still one of the greatest scenes of all time.
Yeah.
I think my favorite meme of all time is when you nut, but you still sucking, and it's Marvin going, oh! is the skeleton.
Like the electricity skeleton. Yeah. It's a good meme.
Yeah, it is a good meme.
But yeah, I think this movie obviously I don't think it did it for anyone. Let's be honest here. I mean, who am I lying to? This movie was in theaters and I don't even think anyone enjoyed it there.
Well, what sucks is we had to rent the movie. But I was actually, to find this movie, I was like, well, I don't have the VHS. Let me go to, if you're unfamiliar with LA, there's this huge place called Amoeba Music. It's everywhere. You can find anything movie and music related there, even books and comics. But I was like, they got to have Home Alone 3 on VHS. They got to have it on DVD, Blu-ray, whatever. It's got to be super cheap. And I asked, like, where can I find, like, check our holiday section. We should have a ton of them. No, they are completely sold out. Like, who's buying this movie? Like, I hope they're just throwing them in the dumpster, because just flat out going to say it, keep this movie in the dumpster. I mean, I know there's, like, other ones out there. There's, like, a 4th and 5th one or something. And just, like...
I think that there was also a spin-off or crossover series with the Return to Bandcamp series.
What? I don't know about that, but jeez. But... I mean,
I'm assuming 4 and 5 were straight to video, and another classic straight to video series is Return to Bandcamp. So
yeah, so I mean, for whatever reason though, this movie somehow got to make it to theaters, and it definitely feels like it was forced. Just like, oh, let's bank off of the name of Home Alone, and didn't work out. And yeah, this is a movie that absolutely should be forgotten.
Yeah, I think, or I'd like to think at least, that there was possibly a cult, like a new age cult, that collected all the VHS tapes and burned them so that no one else had to watch this movie except for our sorry souls that rented it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say keep this thing in the dumpster. There's really no redeeming qualities about it. I mean, it's not even a fun time. It's not even a Christmas movie. That's the main thing. Like, we watched it for Christmas because Home Alone is a classic Christmas movie. Yeah. This isn't even a Christmas movie. It's like a winter movie.
Yeah. I mean, there was like a Christmas tree at one point, I feel like, but just like whatever though. Yeah.
Yeah. The best thing is to just leave this thing under the tree and then burn it. Don't watch Home Alone 3.
I mean, I honestly can't argue. This is the movie where I feel like we are agreeing 100% and 100% leave this in the dumpster. One thing that should be out of the dumpster, though, is us. We really appreciate the support. Thanks for watching us every week. We really appreciate it. Best way to help us out, though, is by checking out Home Alone 3 itself on the Amazon affiliate link in the description box below.
Make sure you guys leave a comment and hit that subscription button. The best way to watch our show is by clicking the notification bell so you get a notification every single week.
Drive-by movies concluding this week's episode of Direct to Dumpster. Tune in next week for another new video.